start in the UK actually, which I think has led the way in a lot of banking innovation over the last few years. I always think a brilliant example is Monzo. They've invested hugely in a cloud native digital stack behind their offerings. And how that translates into a customer experience is things that, when they launched, everyone was like, wow, can a bank do this? This is really exciting. Suddenly I'm being offered features I've never had before. So when I make a transaction, suddenly my phone pops up and tells me where I am and where I made it. So I can just make sure it was me that really made it. It wasn't someone else that stole my card. Or I can get paid a day early. Or I can round up when I make payments. So I have a few more savings in my savings account. And now we may be all thinking, oh, you can get those features from quite a few institutions. But actually, when Monzo kind of started and kicked those things off a few years ago, I think people were really excited about that and about doing banking in a new and customer-focused way fundamentally. And the reality is that was all enabled by the technology that they had in place, because suddenly they could do things that incumbent institutions, who banks have been with us for hundreds of years and they're just operating with older technology, it's harder to do unless you've invested in the stack. And another nice international example I always think is BBVA. And I think they have made huge investments in their business. And just listening to Ben there talking about mortgages and housing, they've really developed a super app. So the BBVA app offers kind of every moment that matters in your life you can do through your banking app. And their housing mortgage experience is brilliant in that you can literally take a photo of a house, and find out the valuation of it and then go through an application process for a mortgage. And those things wouldn't even have been possible a few years ago, but they again have invested heavily in their technology. Very creative bank, very creative company and management team. And they innovate in everything right across from customer experience through to security. Actually, we do quite a lot of work with them in the AI ML space on security innovation. So I just share those couple. I think they're probably relevant, companies that the audience will be familiar with.
Yeah, interesting. Ben, have you got any other examples of kind of world leaders and why they're so good?
I think, funnily enough, actually, the banks I always find the most innovative are in Southeast Asia. Um, so Maybank is the one in Malaysia that has moved into property auctions because they're tapping into the value chain of home purchase, and therefore, from the customer's mindset, it is about the home purchase and the mortgage is part of that rather than selling a mortgage as such. And DBS have actually done something very similar in Hong Kong, funnily enough. Um, OCBC in Singapore have also, I think they're one of the country's largest travel agents now, because obviously buying a holiday is a major purchase, and there's an affiliate revenue stream there as well, and I think moving into healthcare as well, and this notion of remote consultations with doctors, for example. So they're all looking at where you can stretch the definition of banking into other areas that are relevant, where there might be an interest in some kind of financial transaction or engagement, say.